Very good morning and welcome to this morning edition of ES 101's Visual Radio. Bringing you the news, I'm Hashni Patharana. And before we take a look at your news in detail, let's take a look at your headlines first.
News First headline.
Heavy rainfall affects over 34,000 families. Schools in Colombo zone closed due to adverse weather. Military relief teams deployed to assist weather-affected communities. In international headlines, drone attack kills 4 Israeli soldiers and injures more than 60. And in your sports, it's cricket. West Indies dominate Sri Lanka in the first T20I with 5-wicket victory. On to your top story this morning, the Disaster Management Center reports that 34,492 families have been affected by the heavy rainfall impacting 12 districts. Among those affected are 134,484 individuals. Currently, 6,963 people from 1,753 families are being housed in 81 safe centers. The adverse weather has caused complete damage to one house and partial damage to 240 houses. Between 6 p.m. yesterday and early this morning alone, 4,495 individuals from 1,113 families have been affected by the heavy rains. In Colombo district, 40,231 individuals from 10,914 families are reported to be affected. The most significant damage has been reported in the Gampaha district, with 80,529 individuals affected. In another weather update, all schools in the Colombo Education Zone have been closed today due to the prevailing adverse weather conditions. Western Province Education Director Prem Ranjit Devabandhu announced that all schools in the Gampaha district, Gampaha and Kalani Education Zones, as well as those in the Kolonav and Kadwala divisions, will remain closed today and tomorrow. Now, the Ministry of Defence has announced that military relief teams are currently operational to support communities affected by adverse weather conditions. According to the ministry, these efforts are being carried out under the continuous supervision of Defence Secretary, retired Air Vice Marshal Sampath Tuyakonta, and the heads of the 3 armed forces, following directives from President Anrakumara Dissanayaka. The Chief of Defence Staff has coordinated with the government officials in all affected districts to ensure the rapid provision of necessary relief services. The ministry also said that members of the armed forces have been deployed to provide essential facilities to individuals in disaster relief centers. Additionally, naval boats, army vehicles and Air Force helicopters are on standby to assist in the evacuation of displaced persons. For information on emergency disaster situations, the Disaster Management Center can be contacted via the emergency hotline 117 or at the following numbers. Those are 0112 136136, 0112 136222 and 0112 670002. The numbers once again: 0112 136136, 0112 136222 and 0112 670002.
International news.
Now, shifting your attention to the international arena, 4 soldiers have been killed and more than 60 other people injured in a drone strike targeting an army base in northern Israel, the Israeli Defense Forces confirmed. The IDF added 7 soldiers had been severely injured in the attack on a base adjacent to Binyamina, a town around 20 miles to the south of Haifa. Hezbollah has claimed responsibility for the attack, which it said targeted a training camp of the Israeli Defense Forces, Golani Brigade in the area, which is based between Tel Aviv Aviv and Haifa. The armed group's media office said the strike was in response to Israeli attacks in southern Lebanon and Beirut on Thursday. The group said it targeted the camp in northern Israel using a swarm of drones. The Israeli ambulance service said 61 people had been injured in the attack, including 3 critically. And it added that 37 of them had been taken to 8 regional hospitals, either by ambulance or helicopter.
Sports news.
And finally, taking a look at the sports arena, we have news coming in from cricket. And West Indies are off to a spectacular start in their 3-match T20I series against Sri Lanka by registering a 5-wicket win in the first T20I at Rangiridambul International Stadium in Dabulla. Now, Kamindu Mendis scored a brilliant half-century to guide the hosts beyond the 175-run margin as Sri Lanka entered their innings at 179 for 7 in their 20 overs. After being put to bat first. Now the total proved to be too short of the competitive mark on a flat surface as West Indies raced to the target thanks to stunning 50s from Brandon King and Evan Lewis. And with that, we wrap up this edition of ES 101's Visual Radio. I'm Hashni Patirana. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more of the very latest.